As 24-year-old Jared Williams shot by someone with a high-powered rifle in an Albemarle neighborhood on Sunday afternoon. The officer who ran off the road and wrecked was not injured. Albemarle Police Chief Danny Bowen tells WSOC News.
We're very fortunate and very thankful that the officer didn't get struck or even killed because, they were using a high-powered rifle, which is extremely dangerous.
The Camp Fire in Northern California's Bayou County is now blamed for at least 29 deaths, tying the record for the deadliest blaze in the state's history. Over 200 people are still unaccounted for. The town of Paradise has been almost completely destroyed. Mayor Jody Jones, who lost her own home, tells the BBC News.
I left Paradise with just the clothes on my back.
Numerous people turned, and Connor went from Greensboro to Wilmington. You're listening to NCN News.
What's the best-selling small tractor in America? Kubota's BX Series Compact. Now get a BX 1880 for as low as $99 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to gokubota.com for more information.
Hey Hoops fans, basketball season is almost here and the 2018 ACC Basketball Preview Magazine is available for pre-order right now at ACCSports.com. Get the scoop on all the teams before the season starts with predictions from the experts, recruiting news, and rankings of the best ACC players and teams. No other magazine dedicates 10 pages to each ACC school, each jam-packed with stats and information. Pre-order your copy today by going to ACCSports.com and clicking on the pre-order banner.
Kubota's L2501 DT packs powerful performance in one easy-to-operate compact tractor. Now get payments as low as $135 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to gokubota.com for more information.
Police say a North Carolina toddler whose abduction triggered an Amber Alert has been found and reunited with her mother. The Charlotte-Mecklenburg police issued a news release on Sunday saying they assisted the U.S. Marshals Service as marshals apprehended a suspect in the Gastonia abduction. Graduation day at UNC Chapel Hill is supposed to be a joyous occasion, but in 1996, graduation day dealt the ultimate pain to Bonnie Woodruff. 5 people died in the Phi Gamma Delta house fire on graduation day 1996. That included Woodruff's son, Ben. She told Spectrum News.
The fire had a profound effect on my family. Literally, our dreams for Ben went up in smoke.
Before you pop a supplement for a vitamin this morning, listen to what top researchers are saying about some of them.
A federally funded project involving nearly 26,000 people is being called the most definitive evidence yet that vitamin D and fish oil supplements do not prevent cancer or serious heart-related problems. And it concludes routine blood tests for vitamin D levels in healthy older Americans are a waste of time and money. Experts agree vitamin D is important for bone health, but they say people who want to reduce their risk of cancer and heart disease should follow other proven strategies. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
There was a glittery awards show as the deadly wildfires continue to burn in California.
Celebrities like Melissa McCarthy and the Kardashians walked the red carpet at the People's Choice Awards in Santa Monica. The host, The Tonight Show's Jimmy Fallon with USA Today.
If I can, for just 1 second, get your mind off your problems and make you laugh a little bit, then I'm doing my job.
Several celebrities have lost their homes, including Gerard Butler and Robin Thicke. The Paramount Ranch, which serves as a set for HBO's Westworld and also provided the backdrop for Gunsmoke in the 1950s, has been destroyed. Part of the mansion where ABC's The Bachelor is filmed has also burned. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS.
AM 590 WCAB Rutherfordton with FM translator service on W265DW at 100.9.
From ABC News, I'm Alex Stone in Malibu, California. This city is completely evacuated this morning, emptied out as flames are threatening to engulf the Paradise. Nicole Jolly is a nurse there who thought she was going to die. She was trapped by fire after evacuating a hospital.
I got out of my car because I knew I was going to die if I stayed in my car. I got out of my car and the flames were right there next to me.
Here in Southern California over the weekend, 250,000 people were evacuated. Extreme fire behavior wiping out an untold number of homes. It's pitch black right now, but above me, night drops are being done by helicopters called Firehawks working to put out flames. I'm Alex Stone in Malibu. Now with more news, here's Michelle Franzen.
Recounts and lawsuits in Florida with the Senate and governor's races there still undecided nearly a week after Election Day. ABC's Pete Combs is in Fort Lauderdale.
Accusations are flying from the White House and from Republican candidates here in Florida as election results continue to tighten, triggering recounts in races for Senate and governor. Democrat for Governor Andrew Gillum conceded at one point to his Republican opponent Ron DeSantis, but then recounted.
Florida's 67 counties have until Thursday to get the recount and to launch new probes after they take control of the House in January. Israel's prime minister has cut short a trip to Europe and head home after a deadly violence in Gaza. You're listening to ABC News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill, staying in one place and never getting ahead with those minimum payments? You feel like there's no way out? The program at Total Financial Freedom can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Get off the debt treadmill and stop the harassment. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Call now at 866-844-7344 for free information. For about 10 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Get off the endless cycle without having to declare bankruptcy. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 866-844-7344. That's 866-844-7344.
It's back to work this week for Congress in its lame duck session.
Congress reconvenes for what could be a session of bipartisan productivity or a wheel-spinning stalemate. After Democrats secured the House majority in the midterms, experts say the chance of a bipartisan farm bill passing before the end of the year have improved. Work requirements for food stamps have so far held up negotiations. And immigration, another major sticking point. President Trump has threatened a government shutdown if Congress doesn't approve funding for a border wall. Emily Rao, ABC News, Washington.
There is new advice today on how to handle kids who suffer concussions.
3 to 4 weeks is the suggested timeline for young athletes to return to play from sports-related concussions. Each person is different, but the American Academy of Pediatrics in new guidance recommends light, non-strenuous physical activity in the days after the concussion as the first step in a multi-stage process. Each step lasts as long as it takes the person to complete without symptoms, culminating in medical clearance by a doctor to return to the sport. Brian Clark, ABC News.
2 U.S. Navy pilots are okay after being forced to eject from an F-18 that crashed into the Philippine Sea. No word yet on why that plane went down. And a bit of food diplomacy between North and South Korea. The South sending thousands of boxes of tangerines to the North. This after the North gave South Korea 2 tons of mushrooms earlier this fall. This is ABC News.
Do you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes? The IRS has special programs in place that can eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. With a call to ATA, you can stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, call ATA to see if you qualify. 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055. 800-805-1055.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Well, for your deer supplies, head on over to Oakland Feed and Seed in Spindale. They have corn, $6.99 for a 50-pound bag. Cob corn, $7.99, 50-pound bag. Deer apples, $8.99 for a 50-pound bag. Also, keep this in mind, propane new and used tanks available. Refills, 20-gallon, $11.99. Forklift tank, $18.99. And a 100-pound cylinder, $55.99. All that and more at Oakland Feed and Seed. Right, sort of semi-catty corner there from Adaville Baptist Church on Oakland Road, Spindale. Keep it local. Buy it at Oakland Feed and Seed in Spindale.
We'll start the week with low pressure approaching from the southwest. It'll leave us mostly cloudy to cloudy today and unseasonably cool with a good chance of rain and rain showers developing as highs reach about 40 to 46. Tonight we'll have rain and rain showers likely that could be heavy at times. We'll look for lows in the upper 30s to mid 40s. Then on Tuesday, gray skies with some patchy light rain or rain showers. A little warmer tomorrow. Highs will reach about 47 to 53 degrees. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
We are anticipating rain to start most any time here in the foothills. We got a heavy dose of rain coming our way. It looks like about 100% chance. And there's new precipitation amounts from 1 inch to 1.5 inch possible today. Doesn't mean it will, but it's possible. Also tonight, cloudy with lows around 41 with gusting winds about 11 miles per hour. Now we'll have wind gusts today about 13 miles per hour, getting up to about 43. We're starting out at 38 degrees right now. And we have rain in the forecast every day all the way through Thursday and Thursday night, clearing out here for the weekend. It is going to be a beautiful Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for us here in the foothills. Yippee-hi-yo. 38 degrees right now as we start this Monday morning together. Thanks for joining us for the morning wake-up call. Now we'll have these death announcements this morning. Zeb Connor, age 82, of James Road, Mooresboro, passed away Friday, November the 9th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A memorial service will be conducted at 6 o'clock today at Victory Baptist Church with Reverend Johnny McCarty officiating. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service at the church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted. Johnson Hames, age 76, of State Line Road, Mooresboro, died Thursday, November the 8th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A graveside service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Wednesday at the Hicks Grove Baptist Church Cemetery. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Willeen Johnson Hames. Sheila Reese Phillips, age 53, of Forest City, died Friday, November the 9th. Funeral services will be held 11 a.m. Tuesday in the Paget King Chapel with Reverend Ricky Petit officiating. Burial will follow in the M&T Ministries Cemetery on East Main Street, Forest City. Visitation will be from 6 until 8 tonight at the Paget King Mortuary. The Paget King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangement for Sheila Reese Phillips of Forest City. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. If you want the complete information on these, be sure to tune in this morning at 11:30, and then again this afternoon at 5:10 for the afternoon report. And you'll have those again. Or you can contact the been happening over the weekend while we were doing other things, celebrating Veterans Day. We do want to take this time to honor all veterans across our listening range this morning. Many celebrations took place on Saturday and then again on Sunday at various churches. But again this morning, we salute all the veterans who have served in the service of any branch of service at any time for any hostile area or calm area. We salute you and thank you for your commitment to serve and protect America. The pairings were announced in Saturday by the NCHSAA. Thomas Jefferson earned number 1 seed in the 1A West playoffs. With the number 1 seed, the Griffins get a first round bye, and they will face the winner of the number 9 North Duplin at number 8 Bishop McGinnis game at home in Avondale on Friday, November 23rd. In the second round, 2A playoff, East Rutherford got the number 7 seed.
Horrific mass shooting in Thousand Oaks, California is a major turning point in their battle to disarm America. And the liberals at the Post say that voters sent a message in the midterms that enough is enough when it comes to guns. They say that Washington state voters strengthened their gun control laws last Tuesday, and a bunch of incoming Democrat House members and governors ran very strict gun laws, among the strictest in the country. And the deranged shooter was a known problem to law enforcement, and he banning guns, granting. We'll see if enough really is enough. We're nearing the point, folks, where it is from our angle.
Hey guys, don't mind me as I interrupt your radio program. It's Sue Cosner, sexual health expert on men's performance in the bedroom. Do me a favor and don't touch that dial. That's a mistake. If you've been listening to this radio station, you've probably heard a compelling radio ad for Noxitril, the potent all-natural male enhancement pill. Men constantly reach out and ask me, does this Noxitril really work? Or is it just another scam product? I can tell you there's nothing better than Noxitril. I recommend this super pill to men everywhere. It will transform your life in the bedroom once and for all. Strong, powerful results that increase your blood flow fast. No prescription, no side effects. Just imagine Viagra on steroids. So call Noxitril now and take advantage of an incredible free bottle.
73. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-605-1673. That's 800-605-1673.
Bert Dutton.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Question:
When you walk into the boardrooms of the are they? When you encounter a group of people eager to roll up their sleeves, who are you most likely to work with? Answer: men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Taking the initiative, being a good teammate, sacrificing personal glory for the greater good. These are qualities we expect of our leaders, and they're all being cultivated in the high schools right here in North Carolina.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
Try their delicious subs, grinders, grease for all your catering needs at original.com.
For Caldwell, Kansas, had given up the job to open a saloon. Even though he was no longer a lawman, George Flatt still carried his pistols, and he's as much as he's wanting to be inebriated. Frank Hunt was a couple of Flatt's friends. Frank Hunt was seen running with the liberal position of the courts concerning self-defense shootings. Hunt would be found innocent. Window at the Red Light Saloon, a shot was fired through the window, mortally wounding him. No one was ever brought up on charges, but if they were to be, I'm sure it would be self-defense.
Now it's 16 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Monday morning. Let's go to the phones and find out what's been happening over the weekend. And we're talking now with Officer King with the Sheriff's Department. Good morning. How are you?
294 calls for service. There were 17 arrests processed, and the jail currently has 117 reported of breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. A Tyler in Polkville reported an assault. Brian Cole from Hazelwood Drive in Forest City reported 3 counts of Larkfield Church Road, reported assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill and breaking and entering. Shannon Green, also from Highway 74 Business in Ellenboro, reported a damage to property. And a Travis Duggar from Owen Street in Ellenboro reported a larceny of a firearm. Of a disabled or elderly person received a $1,500 secured bond. Christopher Towery from Paradise Lane in Bostic was arrested and charged with attempted larceny, received a $3,000 secured bond. Tanisha McCoy from Piney Ridge Road in Forest City was served with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Received a $1,000 secured bond. Timothy Chapman from Noah Drive in Bostic was served with 10 counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor. Received a $13,000 secured bond, $250 secured bond, $15 secured bond. The police officer failure to appear in Morrisboro was served with a misdemeanor and a failure to comply, and he received a $2,500 secured bond. And that's all we have for today.
Officer King, thank you very much for that report, and I hope you're safe out there today.
Thank you, Jim. You have a good one.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye. 19 minutes after 7 o'clock here on the options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important at Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304. McCurry Deck Motors has been providing the stylish Buick for families for generations. Come browse a new selection and you'll find the car that everybody's talking about. So we're for their lives. Experience 4A for a city. Here's Carrie now with a report from the Communications Center. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's on the report from the weekend?
In the past 48 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 communications has processed. The Sheriff's Office had a 294. Forest City 138, Lake Lure 15, Rutherfordton 40, vehicle accident, also a residential fire alarm, and Rutherfordton had an industrial fire alarm, and that was all.
Thanks so much. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
As we get you through the winter, they're kind of cozy too to have around, romantic kind of, you know what I'm saying? Well, Washington Store has a good selection of those lanterns, plus with their Indiana popcorn, old-fashioned popcorn poppers, good to use at campsites and fireplaces. They're really good to have. If they don't, they can get it for you in no time. It'll surprise you if they don't have your size in. They're the headquarters for Porter Brand overalls made in a good old US of A. Go by the store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. Now here's Ruby Taylor with a report from Danieltown SDO. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's on the report from the weekend?
Well, the fire department assisted setting the militia and hope these people have a nice day, and the signs are in the knees and today and going to the legs tomorrow. So that's all I got, Jim.
Thanks, Ruby. Enjoy your Monday.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
It can be a tough. Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Spindale. Again, that phone number is the 1A West Playoffs home in Avondale on Friday, November 12th of them. We hope they do well and carry us all the way through the end of the season into state playoffs. Wouldn't that be nice? From Steve. Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Good morning, Jim. It's a good Monday morning to you. What nasty Monday morning. Our veteran ceremony at 10 a.m. Is take it indoors. We have Plan B. We always have that available. So in the gardens, most likely. If not, it'll be at the cemetery right across the street here inside at 112 Mountains Boulevard, and it's open to the public and free and for the vets, and it's always well received, so we're always happy to do it. For adult, 5 for children. Carryouts available, and the proceeds are to benefit the Fairfield or the Bills Creek. Happy to announce that for them. So we got Monday morning going, and we'll get the veteran ceremony going, and we'll be kind of busy here this morning, the first part of it anyway. Not much to report. Slow period, I guess, until Thanksgiving gets a little closer.
Hey, listen, will you make a visit down to your home state and teach those folks how to count?
Her the last time.
I know
she did this.
I know it.
And it's biting him, isn't it?
Yeah, coming back to home now. She's notorious for messing up, isn't she?
Well, she's not a good cheater. Maybe left her in there on purpose. It is, and hopefully the new governor will go in there and make some corrections. And I think a lot of that needs to be done in some of these major metropolitan areas.
Yeah.
And get all the dead people off the...
Listen, you have a good day at the priced. A selection of Georgia. Check the gun cases at just a lumberyard. They got some Super Duke Street, Forest City.
43 years experience behind the name, voted best of best 8 years. That's why folks depend on Hutchins Pest Control. You can call qualification and, of course, pest control, rats, fire ants, termites, wildlife removal, and so much more. Call them today for your free estimate. 287-5171. Get the job done by the professionals and relax. Hutchins Pest Control, honest.
Our district. Bob, good morning and happy Monday.
Well, happy, look like rainy Monday there.
I believe you.
Look like it's going to be that way, but it's going to be a cold rain, so they're talking about might be some icy conditions about Wednesday or Thursday morning there, so it could be an early.
The forecast on Wednesday night, they did take that out, so maybe it's just going to be cold and rainy.
Maybe it'll just be cold and rainy then, but
22nd.
That's real. Well, medical calls hadn't had that way all day today, and
Reporter Bob Hodge reporting in this morning. Now, if you were concerned about your hearing, maybe it's time Miracle Ear stepped in with you. They're never going to force you into anything, but if you'd like to move forward and get better hearing for the holidays, they make these hearing instruments so small anymore you hardly know they're there, but boy, can you hear well. You'll want to be a part of the Christmas season with the holiday cheer, the singing of the carols, and all the glistening and the silver bells, and everything makes Christmas a little brighter. Remember, untreated hearing loss can be one of the number one contributors to early dementia. Go see them real soon and get that started in the process of working that out.
Not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best. Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Here is good news from American Zinc Products. They'll be having a hiring event Saturday, November the 6th with American Zinc Products. They will be taking applications for mechanics, industrial electricians, and other mechanical trades in the Career Center lab at Isothermal Community College. Jobs waiting for you. Go see if you could get one of those at American Zinc product.
Good morning, Jim.
Welcome to Monday.
Yes, it's here again. Oh, me. And it's kind of cloudy. Guess we're going to get some more rain. We had rain last night. But, let's see. I have no calls from the fire department. Don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I've got Rainey Ramsey, and we went to her little birthday party. So we hope she'll have a good birthday. She had a good party. And First Broad doesn't have anything on their calendar today, so not too many celebrating, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day. And last night we went up to Fairview, his husband, so we congratulate him on that. And so far, I don't have any other interviews going to be held yet, but that'll be on the 21st at one of the churches. I haven't got the exact one where that's going to be, but I'll maybe get that later. And
yours as well. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.
7:35, we'll get to our next phone call. Going up to you.
Service Center and Car Wash. The RS Speedy Lube can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. E-joints and service for big trucks and campers. Then pull next door to the RS Speedy Lube Automatic Car Wash. Make your car feel clean all under and all over. It's possible at RS Service and Feed, Seed, and Supply. Shell deer corn, $7 for a 50-pound bag. Deer cob corn, $8 per bag. Deer apples, $9 a bag. Peanut deer mix, $12.99 for a 50-pound bag. And Farmer's Friend has a deer condo stand with legs for $17.21, 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherford.
The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric, water-bead hugger style furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherford.
Kelly report from Miss Brenda. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this messy Monday morning?
Blue Monday, how hey, Blue Mondays. No, I like Mondays. Okay.
I know what you get. I am. I hope everybody else is. I hope they had a good weekend and enjoyed themselves. I hope they went to church.
I hope so too.
Didn't he used to say that?
I believe he did.
How do you know I did?
Usually.
Then I went out and cranked the car to let it warm up and get the back windshield where it wouldn't, frost wouldn't be on it, and I let it run a little while. Well, after I turned it off, I come back in and I went back out and I finished scraping what little bit of ice was on it off and tried to crank it, and it wouldn't crank, and it wouldn't crank, and it wouldn't crank. So I got little man up. He went out there and some alone and prayed that the Lord would let little man find what was wrong and I could get to church. But if I don't go to church, I'm a mean person through the week.
Oh, good. Thanks again for churches then.
That's exactly right. So I need to go to church as much as I can, and
I think it helps all of us.
And it's been proven that the hymns are help your frame of mind and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we hope everybody's having a good Monday. I've got 30 in them ways of announcements. The community club meeting will be this afternoon at 6 o'clock, and that'll be at the Union Mills community building, and I don't have any other buildings, but I want to send my Christian love and sympathy out to them. I sure hated to hear a day today.
Yes, we do.
You're a veteran, aren't you?
I am, yes.
Air Force?
Yes.
Army?
Air Force.
Air Force. I thought it was Air Force because I was thinking you was in the same branch of service that my brother was in. Yeah.
Here we go into the...
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. I forget what's the name of that.
Sing it, Brenda, sing it.
No, I can't sing.
Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Those were the two. That
county, so that was very impressive too. And then I went over to the foundation Saturday night and enjoyed the highwayman is a special.
Get all around,
I stayed busy all weekend. I sure did.
Well, that's good. It keeps you young.
Yeah. And I did a little research on my uncle. I have one of Daddy's brothers. My Uncle Horace was killed in World War II.
Oh.
He'd been in with another soldier standing guard at the camp, and they were the night before they were to make another invasion.
Oh.
So I didn't know. I did a little research on him over the weekend. I found out that he was he's 25 when he died in service.
Remember them every chance we get.
Yep.
That's right. And there's a lot of the veterans that's homeless.
There are, and a lot of them are suffering. And we have a lot of veterans in this county that really need to be taken care of. For veterans, clothing for some veterans. So it's step up to the plate and help them out over. That'd be great.
Yeah. Anybody that can, that would be good. Yes.
Brenda, you have a wonderful Monday up there, and we'll see you next time.
Monday, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
It's time for you to test drive the affordable, fuel-efficient Ford Fusion from Sisk Family Ford in Forest City. Family-owned Sisk Ford can put you into the car you want with a payment plan you can appreciate. It shows. New and used automobiles and an award-winning service department makes Sisk Family Ford the choice for so many. Step up to Ford today. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Did you know that Rutherford County's largest pediatrics practice has mid-level providers? The group is available to examine, diagnose, and treat patients from birth to age 18. Rutherford Children's Care is convenient 287-93.
Morning. We're having a good day down here.
Glad it's Monday, aren't you?
And wait for sunshine.
Well, you may have to wait a while.
May have to, but hey, we'll wait on the rain if sun doesn't come.
Yep, there you go.
One of them going to come, sunshine or the rain. Probably we can, with much going on. The fire department had 3 medical calls and had 1 controlled burn and had 1 fire fire. Other than that, they're quiet. They're quiet this morning. That's going on with them. We're going to have something going on down here Saturday at 6:30 Saturday night out here at the schoolhouse. I might rip the doors open at 5 o'clock. So everyone's invited to come on out and have a good old hand-clapping time out there Saturday night. And then Sunday down here at Carolina United Methodist Church going to be having their annual Thanksgiving dinner there. Desserts, drinks. Everyone's invited down here at 12:30 Sunday afternoon at Carolina United Methodist Church. So come on out. And if you want to wish happy birthday, Desi with the Callahans having one. And Tammy Randall was having birthday today, and also Keith Clark and Matthew Hughes. Stay up there. Stay dry. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther. See you tomorrow. Bye.
All right, take care.
And it leaves your call, and we'll put you in the drawing.
245-7302. And their team understand the homeowner's needs, and I like that.
They have an inventory of replacement parts and specialized equipment and tools for any job.
I told her that, too.
Well, what was that number again?
245-7302. That's 245.
Yeah, I got it. 245-7302. Armstead Plumbing. If you're looking for a Bang, they are hard to find, but the drop-in has got them. Boy, do they have them. It's Bang Super Creatine Energy Drinks, 2 for only $4. In the Sandy Mush, serving a fish fillet. All meals are served with 2 sides and a roll. Also at Sandy Mush, Shallow and Bostic locations, the Christmas candy has arrived. Chocolate pretzels, yogurt-covered pretzels, chocolate-covered peanuts and raisins, peanut brittle, and of course the old-time favorites, orange slices, and assorted gumdrop and chocolate drops at Drop-In Store. Hey, listen, the Drop-In also gives veterans 10% off all fountain drinks in Rutherford County. Supportive of the veterans, so come on, drop in. Southern Carpet would like to be your carpet store. Just if you're looking for something to spruce up your house for the holidays or to start a brand new owned, family run, Southern operated. Southern Carpet in Forest City, right across from North State Gas Company. Go see them. You'll be happy you did. That's really something to crow about. This birthday. Well, happy birthday to Sheila Moore. Sue Brooks is 80. She's retired. Looks like Carmen Jones is also having a birthday today, so happy birthday to all these folks, and all those that have called in will be in the drawing for delicious donuts from Granny B's.
most important person is in an organization has been the coffee table talk on more than one occasion. However, it is usually the case where everyone is needed to some degree or another. A sea captain and his chief engineer got into an argument about who's the most important of the two on the ship. To try and prove the point, they agreed to change places for a while. The chief engineer went to the bridge and the pilot went to the engine room. Several hours had passed when the captain, covered with oil and grease, made his way to the bridge. He opened the door and yelled to the engineer, "You have to get down there. I cannot make her go." The engineer hollered back, "Of course you can't. She ran aground." The engineer and the captain soon discovered that they could not get along with one being the most important employee or the one they could not do without. We get a false sense of our personal worth. I work in an organization that is highly always amazed at the hundreds of names that appear on the list. Once again, I ask myself, what would we do without all these wonderful people? If you are a leader in an organization, don't forget the faithful people who make up your team. Make sure you are not like the captain who got all dirty before he realized that he needed others to help him succeed. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
And a big congratulations going out to Sue Brooks, retired assistant teacher at Ellenboro. She's 80. Some local news, and at the bottom of the hour, 8:30, Word of Faith speaks out right here live in the Blue Room.
Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender, pretending that I'm doing well. My need is such, I pretend too much. I'm lonely, but no one can tell. Whoa, yes, I'm the great pretender. I play the game, but to my real shame, you've left me to dream all alone. To me, what my heart can't control, just laughing and gay like a clown. I seem to be what I'm not. You see, I'm wearing my heart like a crown, pretending that you're still around.
Crash into the Philippine Sea. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick reports both
rescued the pilots from the water and returned them to the ship. They're in good condition. This is the second crash involving aircraft from the USS Ronald Reagan in less than a month. A helicopter crash in October left a dozen sailors injured.
Greensboro officials say one police officer died, another was injured at a crash during a robbery investigation over the weekend. The officers were attempting to locate the vehicle driven by a possible robbery suspect when the police vehicles crashed. At Butler High School, Mecklenburg County Commissioner Chair Ella Scarborough told WSOC she was disturbed by the shooting at the school.
We should not be here. I'm praying that this will help all of us understand we can't do this.
The wildfires in Southern California today are faced with more heavy winds that will likely provide different battles for fire crews hoping to contain the blazes. CBS's Maria Villarreal.
More than 200 people right now are reported missing in this area. So far, all of the patients for that hospital, they are accounted for, but 4 employees are still considered missing. As of right now, they continue to search the areas for anybody that might be missing, any sort of remains in this area.
A parade down Raleigh's Fayetteville Street observes what was called the War to End All Wars. It was a colorful parade on Saturday with bands playing patriotic music. While many fought and died for the nation, proud veterans like Patricia Harris said,
"Wars, have liberated slaves, and they have also toppled terrorists, and this is the reason why we serve."
You're listening to NCN News.
We used to think all lung cancer was the same.
Now we know that each tumor may have a different genetic makeup.
Several different molecular types of lung cancer have been identified.
By performing molecular testing on a lung cancer tumor, doctors can try to determine what's causing the cancer to grow.
It's a different way of looking at lung cancer.
Because lung cancer can affect anyone.
The young or old.
Smokers or non-smokers.
You or me.
Knowing the molecular profile of my tumor helped determine my treatment options.
Anyone can get lung cancer, and not all lung cancers are the same. Talk to your doctor to see if molecular testing is appropriate for you. Visit lungcancerprofiles.com to learn more. That's lungcancerprofiles.com. A public service of 6 leading lung cancer advocacy groups with support from Pfizer Oncology.
Numerous people turned out for a motorcycle ride to honor a fallen North Carolina state trooper. WWAY-TV in Wilmington reports the ride honoring Trooper Kevin Connor went from Greensboro to Wilmington over the weekend. A new round of deadly fighting on the Israeli-Gaza border.
Israeli undercover troops entered Gaza and assassinated a local Hamas commander. Hamas says its forces chased the Israeli vehicle and there was a heavy exchange of fire. At least 6 Palestinians, including 5 militants, were killed, along with an Israeli officer.
A plane towing a Confederate flag was spotted Sunday morning over Chapel Hill. The plane also towed a banner that read, "Restore Silent Sam Now," referencing the Confederate monument of UNC's flagship campus that was toppled by protesters in August. UNC officials are scheduled to submit a plan for the statue's future by next week, but just last week, UNC Board of Trustees Chairman Harry Smith announced the deadline had been extended to mid-December.
Also, probably give us plenty of time to ask questions before we get to the December 14th meeting. And so our goal in the December 14th meeting will be to have that on the platform for resolution at the Board of Governors.
Dallas-based American Airlines is in hot water after a flight attendant claims a fellow crew member assaulted her and the airline failed to investigate.
Kathy Wolf's lawsuit filed last week claims another American Airlines flight attendant slammed the door of a beverage cart on her arm and in front of passengers dragged her down the aisle by the scarf around her neck. Wolf says she reported the procedure to the captain and other crew members, but when nothing was done, she went to the police. Her suit further claims American Air was negligent and created a dangerous work environment.
WCAB Rutherfordton.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. As the California wildfires grow, so does the death toll.
Additional 6 human remains were recovered, which brings our current total to 20.
Have been found dead in Southern California, where we find ABC's Alex Stone.
Unfortunately, the Santa Ana winds are already blowing pretty hard here, and they're pushing toward Malibu, where the fire is right now, toward Malibu. That is going to make this day very tough. This entire city is evacuated. It's a lot of police officers that could push this way.
In Florida, the recounts continue today in the Senate and governor's races. ABC's Pete Combs is in Fort Lauderdale.
Governor Rick Scott locked in a near tie for the Senate seat held by longtime Florida Democrat Bill Nelson has now filed suit here in Broward County against election supervisor Brenda Snipes. She was at the center of the flaming controversy over the recount in the 2000 presidential election.
Sources now to women who claimed that they had affairs with President Trump. Here's ABC's Tara Palmieri.
The president has long denied having
any knowledge of these transactions, but his former lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen, pled guilty to campaign finance violations in connection to these payments, and he said that he did them at the direction of then-candidate Donald Trump.
A new deadly flare-up of violence in the Middle East. 7 Palestinians and 1 Israeli army officer have been killed in a clash in the Gaza Strip. Catholic bishops from across the U.S. start an annual assembly today in Baltimore with the clergy sex abuse crisis dominating the agenda. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate now. Once you've qualified and enrolled, the IRS will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help number now for the Tax Helpline, 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055.
Beer battles brewing up in Milwaukee today over the deal that has Miller Coors producing and packaging nearly everything sold by Pabst.
Market. Miller Coors says it doesn't have the capacity to serve Pabst needs anymore, and Pabst says the brewer would only agree to extension for triple the price. The company wants more than $400 million in damages and for Miller Coors to be ordered to honor their deal.
Todd, practical help can have a meaningful caregivers through private Medicare.
Academy of Pediatrics has laid out a new 6-step scale for athletes who were injured, including some light exercise in the days after the...
Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
I'm Michelle Franzen.
Look for mostly cloudy to cloudy skies today, along with unseasonably cool temperatures as low pressure moves toward the area from the southwest. We'll develop a good chance of rain and rain showers with highs around 40 to 46. Rain and rain showers are likely at times tonight. Some of the rain could be heavy. We'll look for lows in the upper 30s, 7 to 53. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Mike Moss. It's 8:05. Rain is beginning to come into our area this morning. We have heavy rains throughout today, with highs getting up to about 43, with wind chill value as low as 36. We are at 39 still right here at WCAB Studios. Rain in the forecast today, tonight, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, Thursday. Thursday night on Saturday, mostly sunny, highs around 54, dropping back to below freezing Saturday night. And Sunday, mostly sunny with highs around 48. So it's a wet week coming our way, but we've been there before. We've been in California, could get some of that rain out there where the office is closed today for Veterans Day. But I do have one word that you can take advantage of. It's good news coming from American Zinc Products. They'll be having a hiring event Saturday, November the 17th at Isothermal Community College from 8:30 to 12:30. You can come by and find out about availabilities with American Zinc Products. Control room operators and supervisors in their operations department. It's a growing company. They're hiring a lot of people. This could be your place to work. We look forward to seeing you there Saturday, November the 17th, 9:30 to 12:30 in the Career Center Lab at Isothermal Community College. So if that's of interest to you, be sure to be there. We'll have a sheriff's report coming up here in just a few moments. The Grace of God Rescue Mission in Torrey City is again providing a hot, delicious meal and friendship Thanksgiving Day for those who need it. This free meal is a ministry outreach from Terry Hageman and his team at Grace of God Rescue Mission. If you know someone who needs a good hot meal and good fellowship, invite them to the mission on West Main Street, Torrey City at 11 o'clock Thanksgiving Day. Remember, the date and time for this meal is Thanksgiving Day at 11 o'clock for those who need our love and friendship. For just $5, you can provide one of these dinners or one of the more than 52,000 meals that the mission will be providing next year. Hungry, hurting, and homeless people need our help. Whatever you can give, it will be appreciated. Mail your gift to the Grace of God Rescue Mission, Post Office Box 212, Torrey City, 28043. It is tax deductible, and your dollars go a long way to help those who need it. For more information, go to www.
For the past 2 centuries, more than 1 million American women have served in our nation's armed forces. On October 18, 1997, a special memorial in their honor was dedicated at Arlington National Cemetery. November 11th is Veterans Day, and we salute America's veterans across the land and right here at home.
Harrelson's Funeral Home and all the staff would like to take this time to send out sincere wishes to all veterans who have served our great land, service in the U.S. Army and Reserves, and also Clark Edwards, who also served in the U.S. Army. This veteran salute brought to you from Harrelson's Funeral Home, Forest City.
The first part of 2018 has been a banner year at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service for people pre-planning and prepaying for their services. The economy has taken a toll on many banks and insurance-related growth products, but now Columbian Insurance Company has partnered with Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service for their pre-need products, many of which have a good growth and interest potential. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service in Boston. Call 248-1234.
Convicted felon on Friday for firearms violation when they executed a search warrant on his home on 1st Street in Forest City. During the search, investigators various other drugs and drug paraphernalia throughout the house. Deputies say they had received several complaints about Ledford firing weapons at the home. Ledford was arrested and taken to the Rutherford County Slammer on $95,000 bond. Well, good news. Police say a 3-year-old who was abducted in Gastonia has been found safe and is in their custody. The missing Gastonia toddler found safe after an Amber Alert went on I-77 near Westinghouse Boulevard. WBTV reports that police began to chase a different vehicle they believed the suspect was driving, and that chase ended with a crash. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police assisted the U.S. Marshals Service as they arrested the suspect. 57-year-old Maurice Knox is charged with 2 counts of kidnapping, 2 counts of assault on a law enforcement officer, domestic criminal trespass, breaking and entering, assault on a female, felonious restraint, child endangerment, and careless and reckless driving. And that story, of course, is continuing to be investigated and will be updated as time permits. The investigation. A Greensboro Police Department news release Saturday said that the officers were attempting to locate the vehicle driven by the possible robbery suspect when the police vehicles crashed. The news release said no civilian cars were involved. Police identified the officer who died as 13-year-old kidnapped from a North Carolina mobile home park. News outlet report Lumberton police announced Friday that Governor Roy offering $15,000. Relatives say the 8th grader went outside last week to start a relative's SUV to prepare to leave for a bus stop. Police say a man then forced her into an SUV and drove off. The FBI says the SUV was found in Lumberton Thursday, several miles from the mobile home park. Police Chief Michael McNeil asked nearby residents to check. Police in North Carolina say a middle school student who poked other students with a small needle that diabetes patients use to prick their fingers has been charged. Aden police tells news outlet a 6th grader was charged with 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon Thursday. Police say the Aden middle school student found a diabetes lancet and poked several students with it. Police Chief Barry Stanley says another child was cut and that one of the students drew blood from the injury. The needle didn't belong to any of the students involved. The school alerted the students' parents, and each affected child visited the school nurse, who recommended their parents take them to a doctor for evaluation. It's unclear if the 6th grader has a lawyer who could comment on that case. Well, Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office officials arrested an Inman man on several charges, including attempted murder on Thursday. According to Sheriff's Office news release, deputies were called to Eggers Funeral Home on Alabama Avenue in Chesney around 9 a.m. on a disturbance with a weapons call. The Sheriff's Office said an employee arrived to work at the funeral home and encountered an ex-employee, Gregory Scott Green, who was armed with an assault rifle. The guy's got a bag or a mask over his head. He's got the rifle up at his arms, up on his shoulder, and the guy suspect clears the weapon and shoots one into the ground. After the guy shoots, he says, "Don't call the police or I'll kill you." According to the release, the employee was able to text a friend who then called 911. The weapon had a magazine capacity of 30 rounds. You know, there could have been some really bad stuff to report today, said Sheriff Wright. We're thankful that it's just a little bit of damage to the funeral home and a guy that wasn't thinking very straight. I'm glad that's the story today instead of a death. The employee reportedly got out of the business and deputies arrived on the scene. The deputies were then able to arrest him when he tried to leave his vehicle. Cops were everywhere. One even had the dogs, said Jack D. Smith, post commander at American Legion Post 48, right across the street from the funeral home. In an interview with the sheriff's office investigator, Green said he had been disgruntled with the funeral home since his employment there was terminated last month. He told the investigator today he got his nerve up to go back there for some sort of revenge and used a key he never relinquished to enter the back door and turn off the alarm. Green was charged with attempted murder, possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime, and aggravated breach of peace. Sheriff Wright said, I'm all about Second Amendment rights and getting your weapons, but goodness, if you're going to get those things, please make sure those are for the proper use. You go hunting with them or protect yourself, but this is not the way to solve a conflict. Chesney High and Middle School were placed on a precautionary lockdown after that incident occurred, according to the Spartanburg District 2 spokesperson. Lockdown of those schools were lifted later. That happened at Eggers Funeral Home there in Chesney. A check of previous criminal records revealed he was arrested for public disorderly conduct in 2014. 60 minutes after 8 o'clock, we'll have that sheriff's report again coming up here in just a few moments.
Hello, this is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. Are you on disability? Or maybe you're on Medicare? Or maybe both? Come see me, Dwayne Hunt, at Insurance Service Associates about a Medicare Advantage product brought to you by Humana. Please give me a call, 245-5301 at Insurance Service Associates, 127 East Trade Street, Forest City.
Rutherford Regional Health System now features its walk-in services at Forest City Family Care at 212 Allendale Drive, Forest City, just behind the Tri-City Mall. Those needing walk-in care enjoy the same great services, but now with services remain unchanged for the walk-in patients when you don't have an appointment but need to be seen quickly. We hope you'll choose the walk-in services now located at the rear entrance of Forest City Family Care.
Hi, this is Haley from the gift shop at Smith's Drugs in downtown Forest City. We have a huge inventory of fall items that include dresses, cardigans, leggings, and shoes. Plus, we have several new books from local authors that would make great gifts for anyone. Our summer items are marked 30% off the lowest ticketed item, so come in the gift shop at Smith's Drugs in Forest City and see what we have for you.
Thanks, Haley. 18 minutes after 8 o'clock here at WCAB Morning Wake-Up Call, hour number 3. Well, the Daily Courier is trying to make a story out of the fact that some members of a local church is involved in the Republican Party. They have a front-page story on how does WOFL fit in with local politics, as though there may be a story there. And a story about the veterans reflecting on the history of their services on Saturday morning at R.S. Middle School. Seemed to be that should be the headline story. But I don't run their newspaper. They do, but that's all. So again, saluting the veterans with their services throughout history. You've heard of painting the town red, right? Well, it's maybe not red, but on Saturday, November the 17th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m., Rutherford County Visual Arts Guild, the town of Rutherford, along with the generosity of local volunteers, joined forces to decorate various businesses along Main Street with holiday window displays. All is welcome to participate. No artistic talent is needed. There is no limit to age or ability. The paint materials will be supplied, and several of the town's elves will be on hand, helping to facilitate the scene of this family fun workshop. The artwork, clearly visible for all to see throughout downtown, range from reindeer and snowman, Christmas trees and candy canes to the Grinch and Cindy Lou Who. Now here is the sheriff's report brought to us by Officer King.
In the past 48 hours, the Sheriff's Department responded to 294 calls for service. There were 17 arrests processed, and the jail currently has 174 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, Ethel Thompson from W.V. Thompson Road in Rutherford reported a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. A Tyler Trull from Michelle Drive in Bostic reported assault and battery. Nathan McKee from Oak Grove, Clover Hill Road in Polkville reported an assault. Albert Howe from Lost Creek Drive in Bostic reported a misdemeanor larceny. Brian Cole from Hazelwood Drive in Forest City reported 3 counts of larceny of a motor vehicle and also a felony larceny. Same occurred on Hotel Street in Mooresboro. Holly Thomas from Campfield Church Road reported assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill and breaking and entering. Willie Luckadoo from Highway 74 Business in Ellenboro reported damage to personal property and attempt to break and enter. Shannon Green, also from Highway 74 Business in Ellenboro, reported a damage to property. And a Travis Duggar from Owen Street, Lynch Street in Rutherford was served with a warrant for exploitation. Thus Lane and Bostic was arrested and charged with attempted larceny, and he also received a $3,000 secured bond. Tanisha McCoy from Piney Ridge Road in Forest City was served with failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $1,000 secured bond. Stanley Weeks from Windy Hill Drive in Forest City was served with failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $1,000 secured bond. Timothy Chapman from Noah Drive in Bostic was served with 10 counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $13,000 secured bond. Richard Skates from New Line Road in Mooresboro was served with 2 counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $250 secured bond. Nelson Stevens from High Shoals Church Road was served with a failure to comply and received a $115 secured bond. Robert Lattimore from Maryland Drive in Forest City was served with warrants for resist, obstruct, delay, police officer, failure to appear on misdemeanor, and assault on a female, received a $7,000 secured bond. Timothy Phillips from South Pea Ridge Road in Mooresboro was served with a failure to appear on a misdemeanor, received a $100 secured bond. And Eric Good was served with 3 counts of failure to appear on a misdemeanor and a failure to comply, and he received a $2,500 secured bond. And that's all we have for today.
23 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Monday morning. Well, congratulations to Sue Brooks. Sue is a retired assistant teacher in Ellenboro, turns 80 today, her birthday, and she won the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's this morning. So congratulations to Sue Brooks, and happy to have her as part of our winners on the list of names that have won donuts here. Now, stand by. We got an update on sports coming up.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. If it was too late for you to stay up and watch the end of Sunday Night Football, you'll learn now. The Cowboys clipped the Eagles 27-20 in Philadelphia. Ezekiel Elliott finished with 151 yards and a score. Favre for second all-time in touchdowns after he chucked 3 first-half scores in the Saints' 51-14 smoke show of the Bengals in Cincinnati. Elsewhere in the NFC South, the Browns bounced the Falcons 28-16, and the Redskins gave up a ton of yards but few points in a 16-3 win over the Bucs. Among the league's best teams, the LA Rams beat the Seahawks, and Kansas City rolled past the Cardinals, while the Titans sacked Tom Brady 3 times and dominated the Pats, ending their 6-game win streak. Tar Heels alum Mitch Trubisky threw for 355 yards and 3 scores as the Bears torched Detroit 34-22. He says the offense is clicking.
It's just putting in the time and the work and everyone believing in the plan and just everyone just going out there doing the job and playing the game like we know how.
Among the league's not-so-good teams, the Jets made Buffalo look really good in a 41-10 final over the Jets at MetLife. On the hard court, Duke's fab freshman trio of Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish, and R.J. Barrett combined for 75 points as the fourth-ranked Blue Devils pulled away to beat Army 94-72. 5 days after routing number 2 Kentucky, Duke shot a measly 49% and didn't shake the Black Knights until the final 10 minutes.
They came out ready to play, getting up and down fast, defending, and we weren't playing up to par. Second half, we kind of turned it on a little bit around the 15-minute mark, and from there, it was just Duke basketball.
They really came at us and really gave us, a punch for a while, but we were able to turn it around, so we got the win.
Elsewhere, ECU got past Lamar, and Alabama edged App State. Northwestern has reached the AP Top 25 college football rankings for the first time this season, a day after they earned a spot in the Big Ten Championship. Alabama remains the unanimous number 1, followed by Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan, and Georgia, rounding out the top 5. This is NCN Sports.
Continental Tire presents our annual Big Tailgate Tour.
This week, it's the Eagle Aggie Classic as North Carolina A&T visits NC Central on Saturday in Durham. Look for our tents, games, and prizes from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. in Eagle Alley on the practice field next to O'Kelly Riddick Stadium, leading up to the 2 o'clock kickoff.
Pick up free koozies, t-shirts, and more from Sport Clips, Lose It and Lose It, and Continental Tire. Remember to drive with care on your Continental tires and experience the ultimate MVP haircut at Sport Clips.
Tailgate with us, BigTailgateTour.com.
Who is the North Carolina High School Athletic Association?
We are over 200,000 student athletes.
We are dedicated educators, coaches, and mentors.
We're your neighbors and friends that put on the striped shirts and officiate the games you love every week.
We are 417 member high schools from small towns and big cities, anywhere from Murphy to Manteo.
We are making a difference and building leaders of communities for the next generation.
Who are we?
We are high school.
We are the NCHSAA.
Tony Parker and Kemba Walker each had 24 points, while Kemba added 7 assists, and the Charlotte Hornets beat the Pistons last night 113-103. Parker, as an individual, improved to 20-11 against the Pistons. He first played them as a 19-year-old with San Antonio in 2002. He helped the Spurs beat Detroit in the 2005 NBA Finals. Kyle Busch won for the 8th time this season and set up a head-to-head showdown with Kevin Harvick for NASCAR's championship. Busch won Sunday's ISM race outside Phoenix and tied Harvick for the most Cup Series wins this season.
A lot of crazy things happened there at the end and got us in position to where we could capitalize on that, and it feels good to go off into next week with a win under our belt and hopefully do it again.
The two were the most dominant drivers of the season and will race next week at Homestead Miami Speedway for the title against reigning series champion Martin Truex Jr. and Joey Logano. Josh Zach, NCN.
Look for mostly cloudy to cloudy skies today, along with unseasonably cool temperatures as low pressure moves toward the area from the southwest. We'll develop a good chance of rain and rain showers with highs around 40 to 46. Rain and rain showers are likely at times tonight. Some of the rain could be heavy. We'll look for lows in the upper 30s to mid 40s. Then we'll have lots of clouds on Tuesday, dropping off to some patchy light rain or rain showers. A little warmer tomorrow with highs about 47 to 53. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Currently it's 40 degrees, cloudy. We get a little rainfall out here this morning. Rain should be with us throughout most of the day, tonight, tomorrow, right here at WCAB Rutherfordton. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. This is Mark Morris with the Word of Faith Fellowship. We're so glad that you are listening to us. We have really enjoyed sharing with you what God has done in our lives. We've been doing this program since December of last year, and we are on this program Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30 to 9, and we hope that you continue to listen to us. We have been sharing with you all of the things that God has done in our lives at the Word of Faith Fellowship. We've also been answering questions about our church. We've been addressing different allegations and lies against our church. So we've really covered a lot on these radio programs, and we still have more to cover. So today I have a good friend of mine, Mike Capistrant, with me. Mike came here the same year I did to the Word of Faith Fellowship, 1990. He actually came from Minnesota, and he wants to share with you the powerful things that God's done in his life. So let's go ahead and hear from Mike.
Okay, he said it. I grew up in Minnesota. That's a long way from here and very cold. I grew up Catholic. I was very zealous Catholic. I really wanted to be to do everything I could. I had a heart for God. I really wanted to serve God, and so I did everything I could do. And I really had my sights set on being the first pope from America. Although that didn't happen, and it's not going to. But as I was growing up, I think the thing that I noticed in my life was, as I look back at it, God's keeping power for my life was there. I remember a particular incident when I was going down this river with my family. We went tubing down this river, and we had our tubes all tied together. And when you go down the river, you're all together, and then when you get to the end, you untie your tubes, and so I was, I don't know, probably about 8 years old, 8 or 9, and I was already a pretty good swimmer, and I enjoyed the water, and so I was just, at that point, we had untied our tubes, and I was kind of drifting around there while the rest of them were untying their tubes, and as I floated down there, I saw these cables going across the river, and they're there for you to grab a hold of before you hit the rapids that were upcoming, and I didn't understand that. And down I went, and I hit those rapids, and it flipped my inner tube over, and I was in the water, just spinning and spinning. And I remember looking, I opened my eyes, and I could see just white. Everything was white. I couldn't find anything. I felt for things, and I couldn't find a way to catch anything. And I felt that fear of, this is it. I'm going to die right here. It's over. I'm not going to make it. And then somebody grabbed my arm and pulled me out, and there was a big rock there in the middle of the river, and I was sitting on that rock, and I remembered thinking, my dad pulled me out, and I turned around and there's nobody there, and I thought, God saved my life. And so, but then from there, another area where I feel like God really did something with me, my parents did a lot of entertaining with my relatives. They were there a lot, and they did like card games at the table, and they all had their drinks, beer and wine and different, maybe some mixed drinks, and I remember at a young age going around and getting a taste of all their drinks, and I determined then that this is not good. I don't know why they thought they were good, because they weren't good to me, and from that point it really stuck, and I never drank because of it. I never did any of that. I had no interest in it, and didn't smoke, and I didn't do any of those things. But there were plenty of other things in my life that I got into trouble with. And as life went on, I was in grade school. I got bullied a lot. I was very bullied, pushed around, beat up, and I was just kind of a scrawny little fella. So, and I had a lot of fear, so I wouldn't fight or stand up for anything. But I remember, too, that when I was there, particular incident, the whole class had to line up in class. The whole school lined up for lunchtime along one hall corridor. And I remember stepping out of that line, and this was later in like 6th grade or so. And I stepped out of the line to talk to my teacher, whose office was right on the other side of the hallway. And after I got done talking with her, she shut the door, but my finger was in the door jamb, and it hurt really bad, and I kept thinking, I've got to go get some ice, get that ice. So I took him and grabbed him and threw him up against the wall, and everybody watched me do it. From that time on, nobody picked on me. They didn't see that incident. So, at that point, I began to feel a lot of self-hatred, really. I just didn't, I didn't like who I was. I didn't like, I wasn't doing well in school, and I felt like people didn't like me, and I didn't feel loved, and I was told things about myself and by others, and I guess just demons, how they talk to you, and I started feeling basically suicidal, and it got depressed, and I just wanted to die. I thought about killing myself all the time, and finally, one day I was going to do that, and the one thing I thought about, because the only person I really loved that much was my mom, and I didn't want her to find me And that's why I decided not to at that point. But I didn't know Jesus. I just had a desire to know God. I wanted to know God, and I went from there to high school. Well, I was in high school actually when that happened, and then there was I was still involved very much with the Catholic Church. I was very involved with the youth group, and I remember one time there was a minister that came to town, an evangelist, and our youth group said we should go to this. Of course, back where I came from, there's a Catholic church on every corner, not like a Baptist church on every corner down here. There was just a few of them up there. And so I thought, this guy was Catholic. Everything was Catholic to me. And so, sure, he's somebody outside of that environment. And it really touched my heart. And I went forward, and it was a life-changing experience for me. But that wasn't the end of it. There was more. And I met a man there who he got born again, and God said to sell the business, but he had property that he owned in Aspen, Colorado, and so he felt led to bring teenagers from the Twin Cities to this. I think he called it Mountain Life America, as his little organization would call that. And so we went there, and while I was there, he brought big name ministers in there to teach us. He had the money to pay them to come, and they taught. I learned a lot about God in that environment, and we were there for a whole summer there. We worked right there in Aspen, and then I remember one night very clearly to me about my life in the future, and I remember him telling me that I would be going to Bible school, and that I would meet my wife there, and we'd get married. I would have a family, and I thought, okay, but it really wasn't what I wanted to do. It was okay, but it wasn't my will. It wasn't. I wanted what I wanted, or what I thought I wanted. So I kind of shelved that one, and but it kept coming back off the shelf. It kept coming back off the shelf. Okay, so I joined the Army, and I went through that, and I had plenty of interesting experiences there. But I said Bible school. Okay, all right, I'm going to go find a Bible school. I got to figure out where I'm supposed to go to school. So I went around the Twin Cities, and I'm looking, and I'm looking. And I found the big name ones, and I went to the campus unannounced, just to see what it was like there. And what I saw, I didn't like what I saw. I thought, that there's things going on here that I don't even do, and that aren't right. And so I said, God, surely this is not what you have for me. And I kind of shelved. And but I didn't know that at the time. We just started talking about different things, and I told him about how God had told me I was going to go to Bible school, and he said, well, I know some people who have a Bible school. And then he started to introduce me to them. Well, we ended up going to Tulsa, where I met Jane for the first time, Jane Whaley, and we were at it was a kind of it was a prayer type service, and I remember I'd never had anybody to pray for me like that, and it was powerful. I've never experienced anything like that, and that too was another life-changing experience for me. And so then I asked her about the Bible school, because this person had told me that they had a Bible school. And she said, well, yes. So she gave me the information. I filled out the application and came to Bible school, and I've been here ever since. That was back in 1990. And
it's amazing how the devil so hates us, and he wants to destroy us. I always think about that scripture that says the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy, and we've all seen that in our life. He hates us. And you were sharing about the time when God spared your life in the river. Oh, and yes. You mentioned you were in the Army, and you were telling me about the other time that God spared your life, just seeing the hand of God. If you could share about that.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was, this is when I was in it was in Virginia, and they had a big, they call it the Bay of the Sleeping Fleet, and we would do our run every morning. It's a 2.5 mile run out there and back again, and I kept thinking, I'm going to come see this someday when I'm not running. And so I went out there one Saturday by myself, and they had a big placard there that told all about this big fleet sitting out there in the harbor. And so I read that, and then I thought, I want to get down a little bit closer, so I started skipping down the granite stones, and about halfway down there, I realized something's kind of funny here, and I stopped to get my bearing, and I pretty much not poisonous, and I played with snakes. I had no fear of snakes, but there were hundreds of them, and I couldn't figure out how I missed stepping on them. They were everywhere. And so I thought, well, I probably don't need to go down there. There might be something else down there. So I went back up, and I went back to the barracks, and I was telling the guys about it, and they say, "Go away from you. They come after you." And I said, I realized then that God spared me again.
So somehow you end up getting from Minnesota, you're looking for a Bible school, you end up coming down here to Rutherford County Word of Faith Fellowship. Tell us about what happens when you come. I know you came the same year I came, 1990. At that time they had a Bible school as well there, and you and I were actually in the same class together. Yes. And so just tell them, what happened in your life since you've been here.
Well, I came down here knowing that God was sending me here, because that's what God spoke to me. And when I came for the place, and I said, okay, and that was enough for me. And I basically I went back home, but there was I was living in an apartment, and I had roommates, and one of the roommates wasn't doing very well. He had a kind of a history of committing suicide, trying to kill himself, that, and well, this particular night he went berserk, and I basically had to save his life. And if he had not made it, it would have looked really bad for me. Mm-hmm. I'd have had to defend myself. Yeah. It would not have been good. But God saved him, and he told the truth, and because it was another to me setup again of the devil to destroy me. And then so I finally packed my bags and I moved here, and I was waiting for the fulfillment of everything God said. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but he had to change my heart and my will, and he had to change me first. And so it took some time. I didn't get into the mess I was in overnight, and it took a little while to get out of it. But and through the process of years of God just showing me the areas of my life that he wanted to deal with and change, and he did, and deliverance came in all these little areas, and there were places I didn't have faith to believe God could change some of these areas, but I've watched him do it, and he's done it his way and not my way. And it's amazing, and he's not done with me, and I'm still growing, and I'm still going on, but I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I am currently married. I did meet my wife here. That all happened, and I have a 12-year-old son, precious. His name is Sean, and the thing about that, his name is important too. The way it's spelled, it's S-H-A-W-N. Because when we were looking at it, the names, I noticed that the inherent meaning of that name was forgiven, so I chose it. That's good.
So you're everything that God said about your life when you were young, you were in Colorado praying. God had this plan for you, this wonderful plan, and Bible school, married, have a family, and here you are sitting here today, and you're seeing God's hand on you. If you would just share for a minute, I know you were talking about growing up, feeling depressed, feeling suicidal, feeling a long time, but if you could just share about how God delivered you from all of those feelings where you were hurt.
Was really coming after me.
Who would that God wants to say about who opposite of what God has to say about us. And so many times when that's happening, what we have to do is we have to just stop. We've had the devil telling us one thing for us. It's not about our own ability. It's not about what we strive to do, but it's all about because he He shed his blood for us, and then because of that, there's all of this forgiveness for the things that we've done when we come to him and we repent, and he changes our heart. He makes us who we're supposed to be, and all of a sudden it's like the Bible says, we become a new creature in him, and all of these old things that we grew up thinking who we were, and all of the problems and struggles we had, all of a sudden we become that new creature in Christ. You know, sometimes I'm amazed at, in my own life, in the lives of all of these people we've had on this radio program, how God has transformed all of our lives. And here it is. We had all of these wonderful gifts that God put in our lives, all of these things who God wants to transform you and make you into this person who, you know, I look back and I think I didn't even know all of these gifts were in there. I did, but it's because of him. Always opposite of what the devil.
And so that's one thing I've learned is, and that's why it says not everyone, and I thought, well, that's it right there. I mean, that's the bottom line to me. If I'm not doing God's will, so I need to how it was in the area my thoughts were, and it's taken some time to pull that back around, but he has, and that to me was that
verse is so. It's so, when you look at that verse, Jesus is actually saying very clearly, he's saying there's going to be many people that will come to him and say on that day, Lord, did we not do all of these things? And it gives a list of things. Did we not heal the sick? Did we not cast out demons? And all of these things sound so good and so important, but then Jesus said that he will say on that day, depart from me, for I never knew you, because you did not do my will.
Right.
And when you think about that, you think about there's so many times when even people who think they're doing all these things, but if you never actually submit your heart and surrender and say, God, I want your will for my life, instead of doing all of these things that we think that we
what we think we're supposed to be doing. And you can even read the Bible and say, well, that looks good, I should be doing that. And maybe I should. But the bottom line for me, as I was going through my time since I've been here, is I'm learning that it's not just what I think I should be doing, even though it looks good, seems right. Jesus, what is your will? Inquiring of God, hearing his voice. That was another scripture about, can I see that one? I forget the one, but anyway, inquiring of God, to hear his voice is a vital necessity. But God, I submit myself to you. I humble myself before you. I'm learning to live, and it has changed my life, and I am very happy here. To me, I have my wife and my son, my little family, but I have a big family. I have a church family that's more close to me than I've ever had my own family. It's just been, it's incredible. I can talk to anybody here and open my heart and talk to anybody. But I love everybody. I love the people I'm with. I love what I do. I love the call of God on my life, and I don't know what it all is. It's still unfolding, but I'm looking forward to it.
And that's so good, Mike. And I know the whole key is because you surrender to his will.
That's it.
And just like that verse you read, it's doing his will. It's not doing our will. You know, when God's speaking to you about, you're going to go to Bible school, you're going to meet your wife, and you had to put it on your shelf, but it was his will, and he kept coming to you. And when you surrendered, here you are today, and you're so happy. And I know that's exactly how it all works, is when we surrender to his will, whatever it is. And it's every single day. It's day by day. It's when you wake up in the morning and he has your day planned out for you. You know, every single day that we have, God has his plan for us, and he has his will. And when you surrender each day to that will, you're happy.
Yes.
You're in peace. It's doing his will every single day and truly knowing him.
Yes.
And that's such a wonderful word, and I can see that in your life, what God's been doing. So thank you for sharing that. And so we thank you, listeners, again, for listening to Word of Faith Fellowship, another testimony about truly finding Jesus and Jesus' plan working in our lives. And so we thank you. This is Word of Faith Fellowship, and if you want to go to our website, you can hear more radio programs. They're all videoed. The website is wordoffaithfellowship.org. We have many radio programs, and we hope that you will continue listening to this program.